Hello YouTube, this is XLogisticsLP here, and today we're actually looking at my desktop. As you can see, I've got things pinned at the bottom, just the usual stuff. And today really what we're going to be looking at is how to make your own private server for the DayZ with the Chernus map. Now, I'm going to be using Ponzor's private pack for this. All these links will be in the description. And I'm just going to show you how to set it up so you guys can have a play around. Say you've never found a certain gun, you can get that gun on this server and try it out. You can try different tactics, you can have mini battles with your friends and things like that. So the main aim of this sort of private server is for you guys to just experience DayZ a bit more. Now if you're thinking of properly hosting your server, you need really to go for a dedicated host or something like that. You'll probably need good internet because of the amount of data that DayZ servers use, but we're going to look basically into how to find your server, how to use things like Play with 6 and other applications. I'll bring the Play with 6 icon over here because we're going to be using that. So first of all, to start off with, we need to find where our things are saved. So if we just go to Windows, Program Files x86. If you're using a 32-bit system, you'll just have Program Files, Steam, and this is basically where all your Steam stuff is. This is if you're using Steam. Steam Apps, Common, and then you'll have these two folders, which are ARM2 Operation Arrowhead and ARM2. Now, as you can see, I've created a blank folder of Operation Arrowhead, and this was when I first downloaded it. And this is actually the server that I run with all my setup stuff. And I'm going to show you guys how to make this. The first things first, let's make a new folder. You can put this anywhere, you can put it on the desktop. Let's put it on the desktop. And let's just rename that and call it DayZ server. And first things first, what we need, let's control then. First things first, what we need to do is we need to basically copy our entire ARM2 Operation Arrowhead across. Now you can see they're pretty similar, but I'm just going to copy my blank. Actually, no, I'll copy the blank. You just copy yours normally. If you want a blank one, all you need to do is delete the folder from there and re-download it through Steam, or re-download the game from whatever site you're using, or reinstall it, or whatever. In here you might have some like @DayZ folders, and that's from just the mod. I think DayZ Commander does that. But with Play with 6, it actually stores it somewhere else, so we don't get those loads of folders in this in here, which is pretty good because then we can keep our ARM2 Operation Arrowhead blank like the game was intended, and put all the mods in another folder, and then Play with 6 automatically, like, it injects it into the loading path, so the mod loads, but you don't have to put the mods into the folder. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut here, and we'll be back when we are finished copying. So as you guys can see, we are now finished copying over the ARM2 Operation Arrowhead folder. Now we need to make a combined operations. So did I drag it over? No. There we go. I'm just checking that I didn't like just go highlight and drag and then lost it all in that folder. I want to keep it, and I'm just gonna basically copy and paste in ARM2 now. Now, what's gonna happen when you do this one? We can leave this running. You're gonna get basically some. Do you want to overwrite question marks, and you want to overwrite no matter what. Generally they're the same game, but there are some differences between ARM2 and ARM2 Operation Arrowhead, but generally they share some of the similar files, so you just want to say yes, copy and replace. Now while that's going, let's go over to the first link, which will be this Open DayZ thread made by Ponzor, and it just has information about it and what's in there. So first things what you need to do is we need to download it. So you just download it from here. So I'm just going to open it. There we go. Next thing, you need to come to this link, which is a DayZ mod, and you want to download the full download of the client, because the client files are not included in this, otherwise it will be too big. Yeah, I think that's everything we need from that. And we'll look at these other two links in a minute. But has that finished copying? No, it's not. Now, if we just open up this, as you can see, we've got a load of files here: at Hive, config, DayZ, keys, MP, MySQL, which is the database, start server, which is what you're going to use to start the server, and different DLL files. We open the client one, which is actually from the DayZ website. You'll notice we have a keys folder and an at DayZ folder. What we're going to do is, when this is finished, which is nearly done, is we're going to copy in all of this and then just the DayZ folder from here. The reason we're doing this is, as you can see, there's loads of these files called PBOs, and this is the DayZ mod in all these files. And if we don't have that, it won't work. So let's replace the destination files. As you can see, that's all in there. Now we copy in the DayZ private server files, and when you're dragging out of an archive, make sure you click like at the edge or into like empty space, because otherwise you'll drop it into a folder, and you don't want to drop it into a folder, you want it in that main folder. Then we just copy the DayZ folder over, the at DayZ, and that's everything for the copying. And now that we've done that, we close that out and bring this up. Now we need to do some config. Sorry about the coughing. If we go to config DayZ, there's going to be two things you're going to want to look at, and you can open these with Notepad++ or whatever. So if you look at this, first things first is, this is the database in this file. And as you can see, when you connect to the database, the username will be HiveMind. The username to connect, the database name will be HiveMind. The port will be that, and the MySQL server, and then the host IP. Username to connect with is DayZ, and the password to connect with DayZ. You should change these if you're going to be hosting like an online server where people can join, because what they can do is they can connect into your database and start messing with things. Most likely they won't be able to connect if you don't set this to a correct IP and port forward this port. Like if you don't set this to your default subnet IP, it won't go on the web, but you can use this and set this so that other admins that you know can go in and edit the database when you're not online. Now, let's open up the server config, and this is the main one. If you're just doing this for fun, the one you're going to mainly be in. So actually I'll maximize it. So host name, first of all, is what's going to appear when you create the server. So I'm just going to change that to private server by X1. There we go. The name of the server that shall be displayed in the public server list. The password for joining, I'm just going to put 123. You should put something more secure if you're going to be doing like if you're doing private matches. You don't want it to be 123. You want it to be something a bit more harder to guess. Let's say that. Now this is the password that's going to be used to become a server admin. You can go into the MP, ARM2 MP, and you can go into the console, or you can go into the chat and just type in hashtag login, and where it says XYZ, just type in the password, which we're going to leave as change me. Next thing is going to be the message of the day. Now the message of the day is an array, and basically you just put these strings in here of text, so quotation mark, comma, and then if you was to put like another comma and put like this is a tutorial. What you can also do is, if we just do this and we leave an empty string, it will basically not display anything, but it will increase the gap. So it will go 1 second, 1 second, 2 seconds, because the interval set to 1. Okay, so if you want to customize your MLD, you can. It's really up to you what you put in here, and if you're obviously a public server, you want to put a good MLD, list your rules maybe, and things like that. So maximum players, the amount of players that can join, I'm just going to put 40. Civilians, watchers, beholders, bystanders also count as players. So this is just the amount of people that can get to the server. You generally don't want to mess with this, this, and this. If you know what you're doing, mess with it. If you don't, don't. When DayZ updates, you need to change this so it prevents the obsolete clients. If you're going to keep this server config. If I'm honest, when DayZ updates and you get an updated server config, you should just refill in the data. Or what you can do is just copy it from the new server config and paste it in here. So this, just keep as high as you can. Voice over net. This is side chat. I'm going to turn that to 1 because I don't want to cause any problems. This is the quality of the voice over net. 10's the best, so we'll just leave it on 10 because we're not going to use it. This basically runs missions if there's no players, so it's like running in the background, if you get what I mean. Don't need to bother about that. Now, BattleEye on this server. This used to be useful for people who had been globally banned by BattleEye or wanted to try out different, like wanted to try out new things they're making for their server, like plugins that could be seen as being hacks, but they're not, like spectator mode and things like that. And they could have got globally banned if this wasn't off, but now you will not be able to join the server. It will not get listed if BattleEye's off. It's just simply because of the amount of hackers that have been going around. I'm not going to mess with that, and I won't mess with any of this. Now, down here, this is basically like, this is like your mission rotation. So you have like a DayZ mission there. You don't want to mess with this unless you're going to install other mods that require like a different map. This is where you'll change a map role. Because it says DayZ_1 churnus. If we just pull this out, I think it's in MP missions yet. DayZ_1 churnus. Yeah, and then that's your server. I mean, you can also edit the that's not the description. I mean, that's that file done. Let's look at this description thing that I just opened up. And as you can see, there's loads of options. I mean, don't mess with any of these, but you could experiment if you know what you're doing. I'm honest, like disable channels, that's the disable talking channels, disable the AIs, you know, unload intro, you know, all that sort of stuff. Now if you want to change the difficulty, and I'm trying to remember this. Difficulty, I believe, is here. Yeah. So if you go to config DayZ, users config DayZ. This one now. This is listed the different difficulties that are in the game, and different settings. So as you can see, we have the regular difficulty here, and these are the flags of the regular difficulty. And then different things. And it's like third person is on, armor is on, auto aim is off, auto guide AT is off, auto on, you know, all that sort of stuff. And then you get down to mercenary, where you get no third person, no armor. So everything's off on third person, right, on mercenary. Now these are settings for like the server. So the view distance, you can turn this up so people won't see the fog as close, but it will take more server resources and things like that. I mean, this is all just playing around, but as long as you make your settings right, then you should be fine. As you can see, more settings there. And I think that's all the settings we have. So the main settings are all in the config DayZ folder. So next what we're going to need to do is we need to launch our server. Now in order for it to show up in the public list we need to port forward, and if you don't know what port forwarding is, it's something to do with your router, your wireless router, or your wired router, and basically it allows connections to come into your computer from your open IP. This is done so that the ports aren't open, so you can be like a victim to attack. So if we look at this, I have a Virgin Media Super Hub. So when you come here, you need to type in your default IP address, which you can get from going into CMD and typing ipconfig. I'm not going to do that because it'll show details. But first of all, for me, if I look on the back of my router, I will have a username and password, and generally it starts as admin and change me, but I've already changed it. I think this is the password. I haven't signed in. Yep. So now we're inside, and what you can do is you can do all your settings, but with the Super Hub I have to click Advanced and then go to Port Forwarding. Right, now as you can see I've got different port forwards. I've got the TeamSpeak port forwards, Minecraft, I don't know what that is, and I've got this, the Armor port forward. So let me just remember that 2302. Right, if I just delete that, 2302. Start port is 2302, and the end port is 2302. Add a name on that. You want TCP and UDP, and then your address, and mine is actually 5. And this is got from IP config. Oh well, I'll just show you. I'll do it on my other window just to check that there's no thingy. So you just type it in like, I'll just bring this over like that. IP config. Hit enter. Yeah, I suppose there's no harm in showing you that. So as you can see, Ethernet local adapter local area connection, because I'm wired to my router. So the default gateway is this, and that's what I typed in to get onto here. And the IPv4 address is this, and that's what I type in here. It just asked me for the last thingy, and basically this is the IP address of the computer that I'm at, connecting to the network. When I've done that, I just click add rule, appears there, I hit apply, and then yes. Now in theory, this should show up on Play with 6 when I run it, but first things first, you need to find. You're gonna have to get your IP, and you just type into Google what is my IP, and your IP will come up. I'm not going to show you mine because obviously that's a bit silly on my part to show that. But when you click run server, what's going to happen is I'm going to allow access. Okay, so sometimes I've been getting this error, and it's an annoying error. Just close that. And to solve it, I'm going to show you. Yeah, this is my combined operations. I'm going to show you my combined operations. Now, if you don't get that error, go straight ahead and play. But if you do, what you need to do is you need to come into here and go new folder and type in beta, and not with a capital. Then you need to come back to the DayZ server and just copy this and paste it into your where was it? Expansion beta, and just paste it straight into there so it matches like what I've done on this one. And then when you run the server, it should run perfectly. Now what this box is, this is your MySQL database server, so don't close this until you shut down the server. So as you can see, it's all launching fine, and I've got this, which is a normal server. That will close because that's the launcher. Right guys, so I'm sorry then I had to cut the video there, but what I basically have done since then is I'm just open Play with 6 and found my game. I'm actually in game at the moment. Just let me abort. You're not going to be able to see the game because it's not windowed. So I'm not going to window it. What I'm going to do is I am going to use DxTory as I would normally to record DayZ. But as you can see, I've just opened my Flavor 6 and I've found the server there. Right, so when you load it, it might kick you out saying password was not given, and that's because the server's just loaded. If I hit join, oh, it's not asking me for a password. Let me just close the game. Change password. So right click on it, change password, and then just click that to 123. My old test password was Xbox123. That's not a valid password word, as you can tell. I don't generally use that, but oh well. And when you click join, it should connect to the server. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the recording here, and I'm going to boot up DxTory, and I'm going to start recording with DxTory and show you the actual game. So right guys, we're back. We are obviously in game now, and as you can see, this is a tutorial message came up. It did actually come up later, but I can't show you that. Now you'll notice under here there's a server control button, and that gives you admin access to the server, but don't click that because generally you'll just get kicked. It's a bug with DayZ at the moment. Nothing to do with anything else, it's just a bug. So while this loads in, I'm actually trying to get the video out because I use Camtasia just and trying to get the video rendered out, so this might be a bit laggy, and I'm trying to record the DxTory and it's a nightmare. So it's nearly loaded. It's probably slow because my computer's under quite a heavy load. Ponzo is currently working on a new private pack, and it would be loaded by now. Trust me, it was like it went straight across the screen like really fast, and literally loaded in seconds. I'm really looking forward to it. But as you can see, there's the lag, and we're in Kamanka. Now, I am going to turn this into a series, and the way I'm going to turn this into a series, I'm going to show you guys how you can use a program called Navicat, which is a database editor, to edit the database and do items, move objects, and things like that, how to spawn new buildings, and stuff like that, just to generally inform you how to basically edit the server. But basically you can play now. It's a private server. You can see I'm the only one online, so I'm not faking it. You can ping, ping's really low. Now for the admin login, as you saw, it was hashtag login change me if you didn't change it, and you can see I've logged in as admin. Now in the description I will link a set of server commands that you can use, and they will basically just you just type them in and do it. But one that I know definitely, let me just try typing in, as you can see, pi, change channel quickly. Oh, sorry. Oh, you see, I said it in global, but if I can't talk in global, but I can, should be able. Yeah, I can talk in direct, but I don't think I can talk in. Oh no, that's global. There's no side chat, you see, no side channel. But let's just shut the server down. So we type in that, and then type in shut down, and then it says session lost. And this will just simply bring you back to the DayZ home screen. Now I'm going to cut the recording here and jump back onto Camtasia so you can see my desktop again. So right guys, we're back on the desktop. As you can see, there's the recordings up there, doing their rendering and stuff like that. But that's going to conclude this first episode, and really what I was trying to do in this first episode was to give a general overview of how to run the private server and make it work. If you've got any questions, leave them in the comments and I will try to answer them. Obviously I didn't create the pack, it was made by Ponzo, so I'm not going to be able to give as detailed as answers as he probably would be able to, but I'll try my best. So I hope you've enjoyed this episode, and I'll see you all next time. I know I just said I ended the episode, and this is just being cut back in. when you shut down the server log goes, but this doesn't go. The MySQL server. If anyone knows how to shut it down properly, can you please leave it in the comments? But I don't know how to shut it down, so I just close it with X, and it shuts it down. Just so I had that, and I am going to end the episode now.